Regal Movie Masters. Unlimited.
This is the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited podcast, where we indiscriminately watch every goddamn movie that hits the local theaters. Today, your movie masters are Justine.
Hello.
Brent.
Hello.
Dylan. Hello. Oh my God, he's obscured by a layer of digital film.
Hello.
Hello. And this is I'm Colin. This could only mean that we're talking about Skinamarink this episode. We're also talking about another batshit crazy movie, or a batshit crazy movie, The Devil Conspiracy, or as I like to say it, The Evil Conspiracy, because the D is a different. They make the evil pop out on the poster.
But in the movie, it's like D-V-O.
Yeah.
The B is all different.
I'm still rolling with The Evil Conspiracy.
It is The Evil Conspiracy.
Because it's very fun to say. And then we're gonna got Brent's solo mission. We got a game of Maltin to play at the end. But I'm excited. We have set up a email account. You hear me, guys? Electronic mail account. I think this is the most democratic way to communicate with people, so you're not bound to like various social media entrapments or whatever. A regular old email. Email us at moviemasters760@gmail.com. That's moviemaster plural 760@gmail.com. moviemasters760@gmail.com. Hit us up if you have any questions, comments, clapbacks, as they're calling it these days. You know what I want from everyone? I want you to email us a movie suggestion and a streaming platform of which the movie is on. And when we get enough together, we'll have a big pot and we will random number generate, choose a movie to watch on our own. And I think that would be a really fun way. So we can talk about the movies that you want to see us talk about if fate allows it and if there is participation in that. So moviemasters760@gmail.com. Hit us up. Oh, and if you let us know if it's okay to read your comment on air. I know not everyone wants that. So we'll assume you don't want it read unless you say it's okay. And if you say it's okay, then we'll read it on air. And then we can have interaction that way. No shenanigans here. Email. Old school, 1997. That's what we're about here. We're also about some spooky movies here. The first one off is Skinamarink, and I hate to say it, but we are a house divided on this one, I believe. I've been running some intel. We are quite literally divided. I think Justine disliked it. You hated it.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan liked it. I really liked it.
You really liked it?
I really liked it.
Crazy.
Yeah. I've had a lot of time to think about it, and the more I think about it, the more I enjoy it.
I hate this because I've always thought of you as like my horror like beacon.
Well, this isn't horror, I think.
Good. All right. Now I'm smart again.
I think it's more suspense.
I don't even I mean, this is experimental film. It's avant-garde. It's like, I mean,
but there's better experimental.
It's visual collage, of course, and there's better directors, but this is like, I don't know, as I take it, and this is so I guess we'll get Love out of the way first. Is that I take it as like kind of a personal story of this guy's adult memories of his childhood, and in this kind of a tense household, there's like a demonstrative presence in the house, right? And of course, the movie's kind of marketed and packaged as if it's a horror movie, right? So, you know, if you want to theorize, it's like a demon or a this or that. But really, it's just something in the house that has omnipresent powers in terms of like electronics turn off and on. The kids have to whisper. The omnipresent forces like go to sleep. The kids have to go to sleep. Of course, this could be like something supernatural, but I think with the way it's shot and the way all of the information is kind of presented, it's more of like a memory of that a kid has, and the difference between a memory of some, I don't know, abusive, let's say, or just very demanding authority figure, parental figure, if you will, versus some sort of like supernatural, scary monster. It's almost negligible. Like it's not important what it is. It's just that this thing has complete dominion over these kids' lives, and that they don't give you much to work off of. You totally have to kind of piece this together. There's not really like, I would say, a super coherent narrative, you know? So when they show things like different objects in the house getting like absorbed kind of into this one concentrated area in the parents' bedroom, you have to kind of assume that this force, if you will, if you want to call it some parental figure of some sort, it sucks everything into it, you know? And I think that's kind of indicative of something, some figure in this child's life that just has complete control, a oppressive presence. And of course, the tone of the film is very tense, uncomfortable. The house, and it takes a long time. I really liked, and this is a weird take, I know, but like all of the shots of just like corners of the room, bland parts of the house, like a wall, doorway, nothing shots that don't look good. They're not like pretty or like well lit or anything. It's just, I think the net experience of it just makes you feel not claustrophobic, but just like overly familiar with the space to a point where it kind of makes you uncomfortable. And I think that sort of suggests that the child in the movie is kind of uncomfortable, which is, I don't know, I think probably indicative of like the director's memory of like growing up in this really tense, uncomfortable house. And I guess I just walked away feeling satisfied that this person kind of communicated the feelings of this very specific age of being in kind of a dysfunctional household. The cipher for this, my Rosetta Stone, if you will, is when the voice is like, go to sleep, and the kid just goes to sleep, right? It shows that this kid is, that there's some sort of abuse, if you will, some sort of means that this force has, which I think is just a parental figure, on this kid to make them not, you know, be like, I don't want to go to sleep, meh, like a kid would be, but like, oh my God, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta be asleep.
He does say like the girl didn't do something.
Right.
And so I took away her eyes and her mouth.
Yeah, so it's like if you're a kid and you're terrified of some abusive figure that has all this power over you, things like misremembered extreme ideas of like stabbing yourself in the eye or something. If like someone's like, if you don't do this, I'm going to stab you in the eye. Like some crazy shit like that they say. And then you process this as memories that have been buried underneath layers of digital filter. And you're like, God, I thought, yeah, you have some recollection of stabbing yourself and you're saying this. It's, again, it's unreliable narrative. Nothing happened. None of these things happen. It's a feeling. It's impressionistic. It's walking away from a childhood that's been, you know, traumatized and picking out these little fucked up shadows that are on the wall and making a movie out of it, frankly, in the best way you can. Because if you know, have like a bunch of kids say, oh, geez, guys, it's the Skinamarink, we got to get out of here, then it's not that feeling that you have that you're trying to convey. And the techniques were kind of unique in doing it. It's not artfully done. I don't think there's a lot in the way of craft. It's like digital cameras, it's shoestring budget. There's a bunch of like hokum, like filters run over everything, which in all fairness, I think does the film a lot of service, because when you can kind of see the original film quality that they used, it's pretty fucking bad, you know? So like all that layer of digital noise and stuff and like still shots and everything, I think kind of we're able to just convey this person's feelings. I really appreciated just that communication and that expression, and that it was pulled off, even if it wasn't like obviously a master craftsman or something. It's someone like learning, I think, like in real time how to present these ideas. And I really appreciated it. I had something to think about afterwards. Again, there's a reason this is this is on Shudder. It's not at the MoMA. You know, this isn't like expert filmmaking or anything, but yeah, it felt personal to me. It felt real, and it felt kind of unique in what it was conveying. So I just kind of appreciated it. That's some love, right? That's one take.
What about the director?
He's Kyle Edward Ball. This is his first full-length feature.
It reads like a student film.
Yeah. Yeah.
You missed like the first 5 minutes, I want to say.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, the movie starts.
I don't know. You told me.
You did.
You know when I walked in.
Yeah, like so, like they ran the credits first, and they like thank all their Kickstarter donors and stuff, and then it says that a lot of footage is taken from archive.org. So he
Okay.
took this thing called Somewhere in Dreamland. That's the cartoon you keep seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
The plot of that is just it's a brother and sister, and they're not very well to do, and they dream of a better days, and then their community comes together and helps them realize the better days.
Yeah.
So one of the theories is that this is him taking that story and making it darker, and that's all it is. It's also one of those things where maybe you should get TikTok because you seem to like this stuff, and that TikTok was fascinated with this
Yeah.
movie because what happened is the movie was in a film festival, and it was an online film festival, and whoever set up the website didn't know what they were doing, so it was downloadable. So people just started downloading it and putting it on TikTok, and it's kind of like this generation's Blair Witch. They're like, look at this crazy real footage, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So that's where a lot of the hype came. That's why when we went, there was only 12-year-olds.
Yeah. And I think there is precedent for like experimental avant-garde movies kind of being like put in a Trojan horse of a horror movie in terms of marketing.
Yeah,
like
sure.
An Eraserhead is like kind of an extreme example. Obviously, there's a lot more craft in an Eraserhead than this. But I don't know. There's a lot of movies I can recall when I was like deep into 70s cult movies that were like, oh, this is a pure art house movie, but it's, the Cult of Blood or some goofy thing like that. So I think there's precedent for that. And I kind of, I don't know, I like the bait and switch to it all. That's this classic exploitation movie stuff where it's like, yeah, no one will watch a student film or this guy's just gibberish unless they, give it a spooky title and, get some sort of weird viral buzz going.
The description of it was not totally inaccurate.
Yeah.
But it was like 2 kids wake up to find their dad missing and the windows and doors in their house are gone. And I was like, that sounds really interesting. That's kind of crazy. Windows and doors are gone. That's an interesting take. One window goes away.
Right.
It looks like a closet door
Yeah.
that went away and a toilet goes away. But that's pretty much it.
The bunny goes away. A little
A
stuffed bunny.
goes away.
I was thinking about that. I would think part of it is like kind of reinforcing the idea of the kids as like unreliable narrators. This is kind of weird, right? But like in terms of, again, being told from a kid's perspective, if let's say you have to move a lot, you might remember things being in one place where they aren't. Let's say someone is pawning a lot of objects in your home or taking them out. Objects may just seem to arbitrarily appear or reappear. It does obviously like on paper look very supernatural. It's presented very supernatural. And like, again, in that sense, I think it, this is a terrible haunted house movie.
Is this about your Hawkman figure again?
Kind of. I mean,
think so.
that's. I was thinking about that actually.
I know
in
you were.
places of instability or in households of instability.
Okay.
If this is a haunted house movie, or if it's haunted house adjacent, let's say, right, the kind of film cipher of like, if you're telling a haunted house story, it's like about family dysfunction. Essentially, it's kind of the cliche, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if I'm reading this as something couched in that kind of format, that like obsession with objects and obsession, I mean like long focusing shots on toys and things like that. I think that the objects become important to the stability of a household that is unstable. In other words, whereas you might move or have to pack up your things or this thing goes that way or you don't know what the day is going to bring, what your creepy little phone looks like. And it's just those way those shots are. Again, I think it reinforced this kind of unstable home, dysfunction in the household feeling. And again, not like a objective or fully conscious feeling of that, but like how it feels as a kid or how your memories would be like as a kid of feeling this way.
I mean, you might be spot on because the plot of Somewhere in Dreamland is effectively that. It's like I said, like it's a brother and a sister that aren't doing very well.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do fetishize objects and food even,
right?
And things that will make life better, amusement parks, that kind of thing. My dad is never going to watch this movie, but I'll tell you why he would dismiss this, other than it, just being extremely boring. There is a orange Lego connector piece in it. The movie is supposed to take place in 1995, but that piece wasn't released until 2011. So yeah, that's automatically a bad movie because the Legos are inaccurate.
I liked that they had what was the shitty lock off of Legos? It was like
Constructs.
no Constructs. I think are like metal parts.
Okay.
The ones with the big fucking pegs.
Yeah.
That's Duplo.
Duplo.
Yes.
I think there was some Duplo mixed in with the Lego.
Yeah.
And like, not to get all sentimental or whatever, but like that kind of rung true to me in terms of like just hodgepodging together bullshit.
Chaos of a toy box.
Their Legos were a little too dank, I think, for regular old kids. But
I don't know, how old were they supposed to be? I don't know.
4.
the ages.
That's one of the that really stuck out to me because it's one of the few pieces of actual information they give.
Oh yeah, when
He's on the phone. He says he's 4 years old, and I was like, oh yeah, that's again kind of reinforces a lot of these like just the haziness of your memory from that period. That even that cartoon playing all the time, that really made sense to me in that like, I mean, if this movie takes place in like the 90s, 1995, I can remember being pretty young, like not their age, but like, so I'm in the 90s. Nirvana is on MTV and shit. And I would be watching shit like Rocky and Bullwinkle and like weird public domain cartoons that were way before my time. That doesn't make sense for me to be watching in the 90s.
I watched a ton of Little Rascals in the 80s.
Why?
Yeah, and What's Happening,
Yeah. Just like this, it was like that kind of, in a weird way, rung true to me. And I think I do like when movies look back in time and not everything is like, hey, it's 1985. Boy, I can't wait to watch that movie Back to the Future and then go to the mall. And then also Wham is big. And I love Duran Duran. Everything is like what's happening that year because it has to be the most of that year. But like, yeah, growing up, there was a lot of weird public domain cartoons. And this is like, I've obviously gone too deep on this, but like the stuff that was on the way they were watching the TV, how they just had access to the cartoons at all time, and what might be like a VHS tape, which would have been like the kind of cartoons you could have gotten on video, like the cheap, like cartoon classics. It would have been a shitty cartoon like that. So that kind of reinforced like the real feeling of this space to me, and this like kind of, I don't know, this experience of growing up in this house. I don't know. I was taken aback by this one.
Weird.
I'm surprised. I don't know. Well, okay, let's talk about the layers on layers, right? Because there's obviously no way I would be watching this fucking movie if I wasn't forced at gunpoint to watch every movie in the theater. I think that's probably true for all of us.
What'd you say about my gun?
And
the gun pointing at your head, you're holding the gun.
I know. I didn't say who. I didn't
Can I have
say
my gun back?
I didn't say
Give me my gun back.
I didn't say anyone else was pointing it. But yeah, so I wouldn't be watching this movie if it wasn't for this. And if it was streaming, let me tell you right now, if you watch this shit streaming, first I would argue don't. And if you were though, literally put your phone in a different room, get the lighting right, 'cause it's really fucking hard to watch. And like, you really have to watch it. And I'm not saying you have to, like, you need to watch this and pay attention because it's great. But I'm saying if you're going to get anything out of this, and there's very little to be gotten, you have to kind of meet it out, you really have to watch full focus. And I really kind of liked being in the room with a bunch of people focusing really hard and being really kind of upset that nothing was happening for them. I was trying to figure out what it felt like the tension in the room, because there was a tension I felt watching this movie with other people. And again, I can't stress enough, I really appreciate that I was like in a theater watching it, because that is the only way I'm ever going to see this movie, is like forced to pay attention. If this was like something that came on randomly, I would have been out in like, 10 minutes, if that, or like on my phone, and wouldn't be getting any of it. But, kind of being in the position to have to do it, I think it was like being in line at like a bank or like a post office where there's a long line, it's going really slow and people are getting huffy, And I'm kind of an asshole, so I like enjoy those situations, like inconsequential, like tension. Someone goes, they got 3 tellers. Just open another. Ma'am, are you gonna open? Like that kind of like.
Why is that guy just standing there behind the cashier?
That kind of like discomfort in public.
You like the equivalent of that on a movie screen.
Yeah. It's funny because I just heard this quote. I'm going to butcher it, but it's an Alfred Hitchcock quote. He's like, you can show a bomb go off on screen and it's really exciting, right? And people get into it, but it's quick and it's over. And then your audience is, back to being over it. But if you tell the audience there's a bomb in the room and they're watching this movie and they know there's a bomb in the room, they're going to be, you have their attention, the duration until they find the bomb, right? And it's like, if you get a bunch of horror movie fans in a room and you tell them there's a horror movie, they're going to be waiting to see some horror and the whole thing's going to go by and it's never going to happen. And they're going to be kind of pissed off about it. But again, if you're an asshole like me, you're going to be a little bit happy. I am trying to give the movie like its credit. Like I do think that it has like some objective qualities. I'm probably being a little bit of a contrarian, but I'm not just being a contrarian. But the contrarian factor is like an extra layer I liked. Like I think people would have really liked it if like a rubber monster came out and was like, I'm the Skinamarink and I'm gonna skin ya. Like could have given anything.
Did you see the face at the end?
Sure.
When the blood was like on loop, when it was splattering on loop, there was a face that emerges from the shadow.
But that is so little. It's so little. Maybe enough to get disappointment.
Yeah.
They just want to get a Funko Pop of the Skinamarink, but there's none.
Man.
There isn't one.
It's a Funko Pop of the child, but like just the bottom half.
Some feet. Yeah. Some gem pants.
It's the Funko Pop, but it has no eyes or mouth.
Yeah.
Justine, did you feel a sense to flee the theater at any point?
Out of fear?
Out of fear.
Fear that you might have to see the rest
it's
of it?
too quiet in here. It was really surprising that there were that many people that were that quiet. And there was like a kid, like a teenager or something, sitting in front of us in what appeared to be a date situation. And he was just visibly like fidgety, but like trying
Look
really
at Colin's
hard.
joy.
Being like 16 years old and taking a date to see this.
What a shitty date.
She's probably like, dude, honestly, like, I heard horror movies are really good to take a girl out on a date. Because they hold you.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
hold you when they get scared.
And you
but
can
then
be
nothing
tough.
happens for 2 hours.
It's just like digital, visual and audible digital noise.
Yeah. There's
Unbelievable.
Long
like
shots of corners
Walls.
of rooms.
like 50 words in the whole movie. Like I said, it feels very much like a student film. And with that in mind, there is no reason this should have been an hour and 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, you can spend a lot of time on like a corner. We don't have to revisit that corner. We don't have to hold that shot for a full 30 seconds on that corner. A lot of it too, I was like, some of this looks like the person who made it started as a photographer or wants to be a photographer. So like each of these times that it focuses on like some weird part of the house, it's like, okay, that has pretty interesting shapes because of all the like the shadows and the lighting, the way that it is. This person is a photographer or is trying to be a photographer and then made a movie, a quote unquote movie.
Right.
It absolutely feels like this person had an art show and has a bunch of photos in the room and then has one little like interactive, like a multimedia thing
Right.
where there's a little movie that plays on a loop.
It's an art installation. Like there's like Dream House in Soho. It's that. You're just in this room and it's all these corners and it's all these lights and it's dark and it's lo-fi and there's lots of noise that goes up and down. I mean, it's like this thing exists, in real life, but you don't have to spend, like you said, like an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 50 minutes watching it.
It really felt long, but I don't know. The most enjoyable parts were when the cartoons were on. I really did like the part where the bunny, I don't know, he's like bringing his hands together and he disappears.
Yeah.
That happens an uncomfortable amount of times that they loop it, but it's
Yeah.
just really funny
The
looking.
force in
and
the
he-
house really likes that part.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna make stuff disappear. I like that, and then I felt disappointed, and I think they did it intentionally. There's a part where there's like some suspense where for some reason the parents are like in a room, but they're not really in the room, and then he's like, look under the bed. And then
Right,
like
right.
the camera goes like under the bed and
That's
there's
the most
nothing.
suspenseful part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't see anything. And then they look under it again. Don't worry, there's nothing under the bed. Nothing's going to jump out. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this movie was just a lot of like, I guess it's trying to be suspenseful, but then there's no payoff,
Yeah.
The digital noise, like visually, it's patterned, and there was so little happening in this movie that I memorized the pattern, and so I could point when like the wiggle thing at the top would happen. I could point when the fleck in the middle on the right happens, which is immediately followed by the one on the left. I was doing that for probably 15 minutes, which I shouldn't have to do in a movie theater.
I like the little kids talking to each other, like when the toilet goes away. It's, where did it go?
Yeah.
And then when they're on the phone, and he's like, "I got hurt with a knife," or whatever.
It sounds like you liked it.
I like little kids talking like little kids.
Okay,
and
you're
that
just
was fun.
highlighting elements.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay.
These were the parts.
You're taking the high road.
These are parts that happen in the movie.
Yeah.
I liked when things happened.
Yeah, basically. I sort of was thinking like maybe toward the end, is this what they call cosmic horror now?
Mm-hmm.
Where there's like some unknowable thing and there's like insanity kind of creeping in. And they talk about, we're not talking about mom. And it's like, did she go crazy or something? Did she have something that incapacitated her and then she was gone? And did that same thing take the dad?
Right.
I thought that maybe they were sort of tying that into it, but ultimately, I don't know. Like your explanation, Colin, is the best one I've got for this, but I
Right.
didn't have that kind of a connection to it either.
I've also heard it described as ambient horror, and in my little stodgy ways, I was like, well, ambient music I can understand because in a way, like, it's not a visual medium, so you can create a narrative in your own head to minimal sounds and ambient sounds. But I was like, with an ambient film, the visuals are right there, so like you can't really visualize anything. But I think what Colin did is he took that to the next level, and he's interpreting, like these sites in a very specific way, which is cool. And I appreciate that because I would be, like I said, stodgy and just be like, ambient filmmaking, no thank you. Like that, I'm not interested in that, and I probably am not. But hearing Colin interpret it that way and draw from that, that's cool. That opens my eyes to be like, oh well, that's possible for someone else, not me, but definitely him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can go 10 minutes breaking it down like that unless you actually got something out of the film.
I mean, something I thought about because there's a weird parallel to The Whale, which is also a movie where the
It's
entirety
another one I didn't like that
takes
you
place-
liked. Yeah.
So the entirety takes place in a room, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking about like what Justine was saying about the long shots on corners and random parts of the room and everything. These are both films that take place in one space, and I think I got more of a sense of the inside of Skinamarink than I did The Whale, even though the apartment's really important in The Whale, and like it's like different rooms and everything. The layout of it, but I felt like I was in this house in Skinamarink. Or no, I'm sorry, very specific. Not that I was in the house, but that I had been in the house for a very long time. And it's like not necessarily that I could draw you out like a map of it or anything, but like just that feeling of being in a place. And I think it is because if you lay in bed, inevitably you're going to stare at the ceiling for a long time. And that's true of anywhere you live, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And again, if you're a sensible person and trying to tell a story, you're not going to spend 30 seconds on these shots. But at least I will say that the trade-off of that is an uncomfortable overfamiliarity with the surroundings. And I don't think you would get that if you were being like, and then this happens, and then that happens, and then the third act. So I appreciate that ambient level. I think I like that as a descriptor. And like, if I were to kind of keep drawing musical parallels, like ambient music proper kind of goes back to like 20th century composers and like musique concrete. And that's like the highbrow version of it. And then you get like a little level dumber, which is a level I can connect with, which is like a Fripp and Eno's No Pussyfooting. Like that's an album I really enjoy. And it's just feedback, Metal Machine music, that kind of era of ambient music. You go a step further, smoothing things out, and you get like Narada, ECM, like
Stars of the Lid,
new age music essentially. And like that's a little too far gone. So I can't take the too highbrow. Like I think if someone were to show me a real smart person experimental movie, I'd probably just get bored. And I think if someone were to make something that was like really nice and serene looking, I would probably get bored. But this is Frippinino. This is, maybe I'm giving him too much credit there, but it has that that kind of grit to it. It has that nastiness that, like, if you're Lamont Young, you're probably listening to a record like that and be like, oh, come on. What is this? Rock and roll, guys? Please. So I connected to that kind of like the grit of it. This is that sweet spot for me.
I was going to say, I think the reason you feel like you were in that house for a long time is because we were in that house for a long time.
But that's an effective method of making you feel.
Look.
You were submerged in the film.
Yeah, or like I don't know.
Even as a guest, you were just like in the house. You're not like,
I walked away feeling like those kids who had lived in that house for a long time and didn't like it.
Have you ever watched Room? It's Jacob Tremblay and Brie Larson.
No.
I think you should watch that because you talk about the whale.
I respected it. I respected it.
Okay.
If I'm to continue with our
it made you think a lot, right?
Yeah. If I could quote the great Nico, since we're talking about since we're on that kind of strain of music, like, I'm not loving the whale for what it is, but for what it's not.
Okay.
And I respected it.
Where I'm going with that is, these are all movies that take place in this one confined space. Right. You seem to resonate with that. But the other thing that I would add to that is, these are all movies that you say you only want to watch once. Right. Yeah. I think The Room is definitely, or Room is definitely that. Like for me, like I only watched it once. I was like, I'm done. I never need to see that again. But I liked it.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. Or it's just a different level.
So you get like maximum results your first watch. I think that's an effective movie.
Sure.
Where you're kind of like, I'm good. I don't need to watch that again.
I am complete. Yeah. Dylan, you've been quiet in the corner there. You've been whispering to something. Yes. Oh, no. All right. ASMR review time. Let's go.
Oh, God.
I was so scared. I didn't really want to watch the movie when I first saw the trailer because I just went, I can't deal with the way it looks because I thought it would be shaky cam.
I can't do this anymore. What? I thought, so I didn't want to watch the movie at first because I thought it'd be like shaky cam footage. Like, I saw the trailer, or a bit of a trailer, where it was like just the walls and like blue grain. And I was like, fuck, is this like a shaky cam kind of found footage movie? And I'm just going to have like a terrible time because I'm going to have to close my eyes a lot and like want to throw up in my popcorn bucket.
It's like a motion sickness concern.
Yeah. Which it kind of did at some points. Not to a point where I was like, I have a terrible headache. It was more like, damn, my eyes hurt.
And I actually did have to turn away a lot, not because it was scary or anything, but just because it was so much eye strain.
I turned away because I was scared. But then like shots from the hallway where the TV's on and it's just like this white light like flashing. I was like, oh God. Yeah. But, as a movie master, I prevailed. I watched the movie, though I was so scared to watch it. Not because I'm scared of the movie, I was, but more or less the way it looked. But as a movie master, I went in. I watched it, and, it was fine. I liked it. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be in a position, like, even if I was in the right place, like, right setting, everything's dark in the house, I was like, I need to watch something scary. That's not the movie I'm putting on.
Never.
Never again I'm watching this movie. But it's good. It's good as, like, a one-time deal. I kind of agree with Colin with, I don't know, did you say anything about the way it looked?
Why don't you tell me what you think?
Well, because the thing is, a lot of the grainy parts, even like when it was just dark and you just see the dots, like whatever you were saying, it just reminded me of literally, I can remember being like that age and just looking into the darkness and seeing stuff. Not like actual things, but just like my eyes trying to look in the dark.
Dust.
Yeah, just stuff and just being like trying to figure out what it is.
Do you see images when you close your eyes?
Like now?
Yeah.
I see images like with my eyes open.
That's fucking awesome.
It's crazy. But like, yeah, it just reminded me of like pressing into my eyes for like 30
seconds.
seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then looking at like something without blinking, just staring at something. That's how it looked. But yeah.
Colin, box office. Give me a guess.
Oh, fuck.
50 mil.
If it's a $500,000, I'm impressed.
Double it, 900K.
Damn. On a $15K budget, that's nuts. I hope this guy gets to like learn movies more. Honestly, like
Maybe he'll get to go to film school now.
I think it was like him trying to like get these ideas down, and I don't know. This might be a case of like a horseshoe theory, right? Whereas like on one hand you have these like spoon-fed like Avatar, huge budget, simplified, dumbed down. Like, God, this is just so oppressively. You're looking at us like we're pigs and idiots. You're treating us like children, and you're giving us these plots that are about, family and stuff like that. And it's just so generic. And then on the other hand, you get like so little that you have to invent a whole lore around it. And I guess that's horseshoe theory, right? Where it's like these two extremes kind of like get close together, and that it might be really boring for a lot of people.
You just presented 2 movies that if I had to pick which one I enjoyed more between Avatar 2, Shape of Water or whatever it was called,
Right,
and Skinamarink.
The Shape of Water.
If you're like gun to the head and said watch one of these movies again, I would watch Skinamarink again.
it's shorter.
It's shorter.
It's shorter by 2 hours.
This might be the longest analysis of a movie we've ever had, which says something. I don't know what, but it definitely says something.
Yeah, especially for a movie that did nothing.
Absolutely. So we have the movie that did everything coming up. So really quick, Skinamarink. Skinamarink, are we stabbing our eyes out, which is to say you don't like it, or are we just having a nice little conversation with a spooky figure? I'm going to say you're going to have that nice conversation. I would have the nice conversation. I do not wholeheartedly, like across the board, recommend this movie. If you're a horror movie fan and you want to buy a Chase Steel book that's like numbered of a Blu-ray and have a figurine included in it, don't watch this movie. It is not a horror movie. If you're down for fucking some weird student film, I think that's a good descriptor. I like that. If you're down for some weird experimental creepiness and you want to just challenge your patience and like your attention span and really do like the Tough Mudder. Remember that? The Tough Mudder era? It was like before guys just started training Muay Thai. They did these fucking running tires up hills or some shit. Anyways, if you wanted to like put your attention span through like a Tough Mudder, like, a course, then watch the movie. But yeah, don't expect to like it. I liked it though. I took a lot from it. You might too. So I'm recommending it with a big old asterisk and a caveat.
I don't even remember what the choices were.
Wing it.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go to sleep. And if I had to watch this movie again, I would know from the outset that I was just gonna go to sleep. It's not engaging in a way that makes it interesting enough to watch. So if you like experimental film and you're willing to spend an hour and 40 minutes on something that could have been 22 minutes,
22.
then go ahead.
I'm going to take $15 of American money, and I'm going to give it to this filmmaker so that my friend Colin can have executive producer credits on Skinamarink.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
I guess I'll talk to I don't care. He's cool. I liked the movie. It was nice. I liked the ending. It was cool.
How was it shot?
Dark and grainy. I will say, I don't know what it was like sitting where you guys were, because I like hid in the back end of the corner of the room.
Oh, because you didn't want to be scared?
I don't want to jump and someone laughs at me.
Oh.
Like my fear is that I jump during a scene and then someone's pointing behind my back and laughing.
That's the scary part of the scary movie.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever been laughed at in a movie theater by the entire theater?
The entire theater? No.
I have. Okay.
See, that's why I don't want that.
A long time ago, there was a movie with Harrison Ford called What Lies Beneath. And there's this long, quiet scene where I think it's Jodie Foster. She's like walking through the house and you don't know where Harrison Ford is. And it's so long, or at least to me, it felt really long. So when he finally emerges and there's that loud like jump scare, I went, ah! Nobody else in the theater screamed. And then there was a pregnant pause and then everybody just started laughing at me. So,
Is that Michelle Pfeiffer?
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Who was present in the theater during the peak of Paranormal Activity hype? Like the first movie.
I saw the first one.
I saw the first two.
That,
I think I saw the second one too. Yeah.
that was like jump scare mania.
Yeah,
It was so
And
loud.
it just bludgeoned me. And, like being in a packed theater full of people.
Yeah.
Just also screaming every 2 seconds every
Yeah.
time everything happened, and like the group creepy crawlies that were going on. Like, yeah, that definitely. I think that made me unself-conscious, or like just embrace the ness of everything.
Yeah.
It's like,
Freakouts.
yeah. 'Cause
Well,
it
as
was
long
like-
as it's with a group, but when you're
solo dolo style.
solo freak out,
I think
man.
fuck it. I'm plopping my shit right here. I'm yelling.
I don't startle very easily.
don't.
So those things are kind of like just annoying when it's like you didn't even put anything on the screen. You can't just have a phone ring. That's
Oh no,
you know, or
I've
something
gotten
like
so
that.
picky with my jump scares now, especially some of the movies we've been watching. And the more you see it, where it's like, okay, like when you're watching Smile, for instance, and it's like the lady's walking up to the door and she
Oh,
stands
yeah.
there, and then her whole ass neck bends down and looks like, I'll give it to you. It's cheap,
It's good.
kind of, but I'll give it to you. That was fair. But like, bro, there's so many of these fucking movies where it's just like, hello, is anyone there? And then like just literally not even anything in the like movie, just a sound will just bong. Well, she didn't step on a twig. It's not like someone fired an air horn in the
Someone
film.
like come around a corner.
No,
and it'll
just-
be like ping. What?
Yeah, just a
They just-
general like that's cheap. I'm not giving you that. I'm getting more pissed off at these fucking movies. The cheap. Say what you will about the old Paranormal Activity. Like if you were on the streets in the goddamn theater when it was happening, like they earned that shit. Like it was tense.
Yeah.
A lot of pauses. A lot of timing issues. They did their damn thing with Paranormal Activity, but don't watch it now. It's not really a movie. Yeah. Overall, respect to the theater goes.
But the behavior in our next film, The Devil Conspiracy, sketchy as fuck.
Welcome to the Devil Conspiracy.
Yeah, Devil Conspiracy.
The Evil Conspiracy.
The Evil Conspiracy.
This is
All
our
right.
full The Evil Conspiracy coverage.
So this one not as well attended as Skinamarink. Didn't
Which
have
is
the
so
hype behind it, which is nuts. Yeah. The Evil Conspiracy. Let's mix it up because like this is just a weird episode. Dylan, give us the plot summary of The Evil Conspiracy.
Jeez, where to begin? All right.
You got this, King. Go.
All right. Listen, we all know the story of Saint Archangel Michael and him chaining up Lucifer to a stone with a sword.
Everybody knows
in
that
chains.
story.
Everyone knows that story.
Wait a second. Isn't there like biblical scripture that quotes what Lucifer said when he was chained up to the?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit.
Before we quote scripture,
Let me go back. We all know the story that there was a falling between Archangel Michael and Lucifer. They fell to earth, and they went like I guess towards the center of the earth, which has another earth in it.
Yep.
They fell so hard into the earth that they got another earth, and Archangel Michael leashes.
Yeah. It's kind of like staking like a Rottweiler in the yard.
Yeah, Lucifer into a stone with
Yeah.
chains on his sword, and he's like, "You're stuck here now, Lucifer." And Lucifer, the scripture goes, "Is this really necessary?"
That was the best.
quote, thus spake
Yeah.
Luciferus.
Yeah.
You are now banished because Dad hates you, or something. You betrayed Dad. The famous scriptures. Then cut to present day. We got Laura, who is I guess a student. She's like an art major, and
Hell
she's
yeah.
doing she had a project asked her to her teacher says, I need to do this presentation. Okay, fine, do it at my house. No, I don't want to. I like to do it in places that are crowded. Then the preacher goes, you wear that wedding band so people so guys don't hit on you, and she's like, it's not working. Then cut to her going to a church.
It's like a museum of religious artifacts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's there to meet up with the priest, and the priest is like, "Oh, here's some sculptures of Archangel Michael, locking up Lucifer. Here you go. You can redraw these sculptures if you want." She's doing that. Randomly, it's dark, and guys, get ready. There's a cult in the midst of all this, and they're like Satan.
Well, you
cults.
forgot what the main artifact on display at the museum was.
Oh, I'll get to that.
I think you have to immediately.
The cult is there. The leader of the cult, Liz, is there. 2. That's her name. It's fucking Liz.
Respect.
Laura and Liz.
Respect.
Yeah, Laura
respect.
Liz.
Like in the Bible.
Yes. She goes there to steal. What do they have? Oh, what's it called?
Shroud.
Shroud
Of Turin.
of Turin that has Jesus' DNA.
Yeah.
She's there to collect that, steal it, and this museum is very low security maintenance.
Very.
It's
Yeah.
a church.
Yeah, but it has lasers and
Yeah.
like 2 security guards and then like 50 priests or 3 priests, I guess. She sees that the Laura character is drawing. It stole the sword from the sculpture, uses the sword to break into, I guess, a bulletproof or indestructible glass
Right.
that was carrying the Shroud of Turin, breaks in, turns off the lasers after beheading a security guard
Yeah,
and
it
using
is.
his face, using the head to use face recognition to turn off the laser, steals it successfully, stabs a priest, the stabbed priest goes, Archangel Michael, please possess my body, use my body,
As a vessel.
as a vessel to get the help. And guess
like,
what?
okay.
He does somehow. So Liz, the Satanist, steals Laura
And the shroud.
and the shroud. And all of a sudden, who comes up? Who just rose from the dead? The priest, a.k.a. Saint... God damn it. Archangel Michael.
They do call him Saint Michael.
Saint
the
Michael.
Archangel.
Yeah, see? Excuse me for my words. I did say, gee, damn it. I'm sorry.
It's in the Bible, though.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Well, he starts Terminator running towards the fucking truck.
Because he has like angel powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
He gets tired because
like-
he's like not used to the body, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
The spirit is willing, but the body is weak.
His lightning skin didn't
yeah,
wasn't full
it didn't.
yet.
Yeah, it didn't go full. What happens? He gives up, goes back to the church. Is like, I need to get this. He's an archangel. Saint Michael somehow knows to get the security footage to make sure it never goes in the wrong hands. Gets into the car. Funny joke. The funny joke is that he tries to open up an expensive car, which is like, why would Saint Michael know which one's like in a very expensive like BMW or Mercedes that are right there? He turns around, it's just some beat up like 80s car.
I don't know why Saint Michael has zero time to like calibrate to modern life. Don't even worry about it.
Exactly. And then what's playing? One of the best songs, "The Devil Inside" by NXS. And if you
good.
guys don't get it, it's because the devil is because Lucifer, and it's kind of like not an homage, but kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
That's a great question.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. There you
Yeah.
go.
Got you.
Which is the devil is going to have to possess this Laura character, and then once he realizes the song says "the devil inside,"
He changes the radio to the other station that's playing good 80s music.
Yeah.
Send me an angel.
Me an
Yeah,
Angel.
from real life.
Yes. Somehow in Italy.
In Italy.
They're playing some great tracks over there. Like just randomly at like
Sound
I
very
assume
poignant.
1 a.m. Mind you, folks, if you watch this, I need answers.
Email.
Yeah, email us.
Moviemasters760@gmail.com.
If you watch this film, does this movie take place in one day or does it take place during a regular pregnancy, which is like 8 to 9 months?
Right.
I was confused because I was like, what is the rate of Satan baby, Jesus baby? Like, what is that? Like,
You're getting ahead of yourself, Dylan.
yes. Anyway, sorry. Spoilers.
Oh,
To
really?
what you're going to say in 2 minutes.
Yes. Priest goes to an older priest who quit the church because they thought he was crazy or something. And then while that's happening, Laura, who is taken by Liz, the cult leader, takes her to some Satan church, imprisons her. Sorry, this is a fucking complicated script, like describing this
Yeah, you're
film.
literally telling every single scene.
'Cause they're all great.
Yeah, it's
fucking
kind of the only
awesome.
way to keep up. in
It's
all
the only
fairness.
way. Yeah, you can't like jump ahead.
I can't. Yeah. So so she's in there, and she's like, she's 3 other women confused on what's happening. They're like, oh, it's sex. It's always sex. And they're like, they're handcuffed or chained up to a wall. Mind you, Archangel Michael is talking to another priest about the plan. He tells him that across the forest that he lives in at his house, that there's the Satan church, and he's just been watching them through a telescope.
Yeah, so where Laura is chained up is now in eyesight of the crazy abbot and St. Michael the Archangel.
Yes. I don't think they know that. Well, I guess they would know that Laura is there, but they know importantly there's stuff happening over there.
Right. What kind of stuff, Dylan?
Well, over there, in this house,
Compound.
in this church, is it compound?
You could say compound.
There's
Where all the
there's
cults,
like stained glass everywhere.
the biotech place?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a compound.
Oh, you know what I'm missing? There's cloning happening, folks.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There's cloning in the DNA. I'm sorry. There's cloning in the DNA. It opens up with, I forget the violinist's name.
Vivaldi. Yeah.
Yes, and he's a child playing this song, and everyone's watching, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And he's like, that's Elvedati. And then they're like,
Oh, Dylan.
Yes.
Are you going to get to who's up for bid?
Vivaldi is the proof
Yeah,
of
yeah,
concept.
sold. Yeah.
They've
Is
showed
it-
that you could take Vivaldi's DNA, make an embryo, and have a little boy play
Just shred.
violin perfectly.
Yeah.
Thus, they can take the DNA of other past masters.
Is it
and
Leonardo?
No.
Michelangelo?
Different turtle. Michelangelo.
Oh, it's Michael.
And do you remember how much he went for? Only $10 million.
Hold on, you're cheating though, because they did cut out. They're like, 10 million, do I hear? And
Yeah,
then it
kept
cuts
going.
off to because then they get some more important information, which is
What?
that,
Jesus is in the building.
that
Oh,
since they can
I'm
take
so sorry.
they can take the DNA.
Sorry, forgive me. Yeah, so that's why Liz stole the Shroud of Turin, so you can give it to the biotech company, and so they can make Jesus.
Oh,
but
so they're just really religious people. They want to see
no,
the second
hey,
coming
guys,
of
listen
Christ.
up. And this is kind of telling us what like society is really like. There's a big company. Guess what? Satanist cults.
And how'd you know that they're a Satanist cult? Triangles, bro.
Yeah, the triangles that shape like D's when you put them to the side.
Yeah, the V of the evil conspiracy is a triangle that they all have pendants.
But then
of.
in the D on the movie posters,
The
what?
D is a different color than
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
evil.
saying. Is the D?
But
D
then
is-
there's also the triangle V in evil.
Anyway.
Layers. The evil conspiracy.
Anyway, so they're doing all this, and while Laura is, chained up, they realize that she could be a good candidate to do what? To be impregnated by Satan or something.
By the Jesus DNA.
that they inserted into her.
Only
Why do they-
Jesus' body can
But-
wouldn't get wrecked by being inhabited by the devil.
Yes, but they had to put her in a wedding gown to throw her in a hole that they put her and the other two prisoners, because what was the...
I think two of them die in something. And so it's just Laura and some other girl. And the other girl has human baby in her. And Laura has Jesus baby. And other girl, the goblins come out of the cage because it's sunken down into hell. Cannot stress enough, there is a hole underneath this Satanist compound where an elevator goes down to hell.
Yeah, you have to hand crank it.
Bottom line, you're left with two ladies being sunken down the dumbwaiter into hell.
The dumb waiter to hell.
So there's a giant demon monster that is around that is pushing the gates to hell open and closed.
He just works there.
Yeah, no reason.
Good character design, I would say.
Great character design. Looks
Yeah.
fucking badass.
No reason. Just they got him in there. They got him out of the hole. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a real demon. It's just some giant dude. Could just be the mountain wearing a juggernaut suit.
Look, I think everything kind of looked cool in this movie, right?
Yeah, no,
Incredible.
it was all badass.
Yeah, somehow looked good. Dead ass. Go on.
So they burn into hell. There's demons in the center of the
Yeah,
cave.
like midway. Like if it's a 5-story building, let's say the cult is on the 5th floor, parking lot is hell. This takes
second,
place on
third floor.
the second or third floor for sure.
Yeah, for no reason. So they get all the way down to the bottom.
No, they're midway to the bottom.
Oh,
and then
the ghost of...
Satan's RNs come out.
Yeah.
His nurses, his assistants come out. And they're like, all right, Satan, go into the lady with the human baby. Dies, can't handle it. And Satan, who's like a little
A little smoke thing.
yeah, like a smoke snake.
Yeah.
Like a Freddy snake. You know what I mean? Like from
Sort of,
Nightmare on Elm
'cause it
Street?
goes around.
Yeah, it's not entirely unhentai-ish, but if you were to
Right.
go by the rules of this movie, it's a smoke or like a spirit. But then that spirit enters. Because the lady dies, one of the goblin nurses takes her out of the cage,
Yeah.
and then the spirit goes into Laura, who has the Jesus baby. Guess what? Takes, baby. We're doing good.
Yeah, so they bring her back up from the elevator, and Liz raises up Laura's hand and goes, "The chosen one!" And there's a cult there in red hoods, just there cheering him on, and she's like, "What the fuck is in me?" And Liz is pissed or jealous. She's not really pissed.
It's actually the real Illuminati versus House Party's Illuminati. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So she's pregnant. For some reason, the ex-priest taking Archangel everywhere knows that there's like a little trail from the middle of the woods into the compound.
Right. Oh yeah, they have to go. He has to go underground.
Yeah,
like,
it gives him a shotgun and a bunch of flares, and just like, hey, you're going in here. This is the way. Just go take this route.
and a long leather trench coat. That's important.
And he's just like, going through this trail. He gets in the compound. It's very easy, apparently, to just get in there.
If you know the underground route, yeah.
Yeah. And just like, he's trying to break her out. Oh, God, this is fucking insane.
There's like a cluster of like action in the middle where whatever, shit happens.
A lot of shit, yeah.
And basically, does Michael go to hell?
Michael in the priest body does go to hell.
Right.
And is trying. I think he's just there to get his sword. No, they drop him in there.
Yeah, just to get rid of him because they have the dumbwaiter to hell. They throw him in the dumbwaiter. Dumbwaiter goes down. Michael is in hell. Laura is on Earth. She's impregnated with the Christ body with Lucifer's essence inside of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she is slowly starting to be possessed by the devil.
Yes.
Something like that. But I think before that, there's an awesome scene where there's just a random nightmare scene.
No.
That's
happens after.
No, it's before.
It has to be after.
No, it has to be before because
she
didn't shave her head because she still had hair when she saw St. Michael.
Yeah, but it's once St. Michael's
no,
in hell,
because the nightmare happens. Then she's like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go kill this baby." And then she has to chug the bleach, and then she's like, bald now. And she's only becomes
I think she was bald before the bleach, right?
No, she's bald after the bleach. That's why they shaved her head.
Yeah, and you're saying that
I think the baby happens before. That's why she chugs the bleach.
I'm not gonna just do your thing, man. I don't know why I'm interrupting you. This is perfect. This is an important scene.
The priest is in there. He somehow breaks in, and Liz is telling Laura that this is important because he pretty much tells us what we need answers. They answer the questions that we have, like kind of there before St. Michael shows up, and she's like, okay, so they need to get Christ. They need the Jesus baby to exist so they can get Satan out, so they can rule the world and have flying demons everywhere and just take over the planet.
Yeah, there's a complicated point where they have a portal to hell. They're going to open the portal. The demons are going to come out of the portal. They're going to blow up the portal. This is an important point.
Yeah.
Everyone listen.
Yeah.
There's explosives lining the gateway to hell that they're going, this pro-demon cult is going to blow up after the demons get out so that they can't get back in. This is a fucking bonkers plan. As if demons going out and running around Earth, and we're going to be like, catch the demon and be like, hey, back to hell with you, and then take him to the hell hole, and then we're going, oh no, it's been sealed. We don't need to blow up the hellhole after they're out, but it's very important to note that this is a one-way ticket out of hell once Lucifer comes to Earth.
Let's emphasize the fact that there's just a hole in the Earth
Regular hole.
to hell
Normal hole.
that if you go deep enough, it's just another Earth.
No joke when he says dumbwaiter because it is a manual shaft.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
cranked
this
out.
giant
Yeah.
monster man has to fucking open and close.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Non-union.
Yeah. So the mother's just pissed off, or Laura's just mad that she has to carry this fucking baby. Apparently, her husband and her kid died in a murder, and
Wah.
and so she's like conflicted on whether or not she wants the baby. Mostly she doesn't want the baby because there's points where she's like, I think I fucking want this kid. You know, once you're pregnant, that's a different story. So she's like mad, and then there's a crazy insane part where Saint Michael is now chained up where he chained Lucifer, his brother, in hell. The monster brings them to hell. They chain him up. The other demons that are in hell chains up Saint Michael to the same rock, to the same neck chain that Saint Michael put Lucifer in, and was like, it's just stuck there. And I think, Lucifer's there, and he's telling the plan. He's telling the plan to Saint Michael, and Michael's like, Lucifer's like, this is the ultimate fuck you to dad. And you're like, yes!
He actually said, this is the ultimate fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, this isn't hyperbole.
Yeah.
And like when we say Lucifer's in hell, Lucifer, obviously his real essence is inside this lady's stomach. But
it's an astral projection.
Yeah, he appears like Force Ghost style.
Yeah.
Same with, I think, the priest as Saint Michael is there as the regular Saint Michael, correct?
Yeah, like the
they like just switch back so you know who he's talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, fair enough. Anyway, so that's happened. And then, okay, maybe this is when the nightmare happens. So the nightmare happens. She gets this crazy nightmare where this, what's it called? Ultrasound baby grows a horn. And like, it just comes out of the screen.
Like Ring style.
Like the monitor.
And, it comes at you technically and like scares you. It's like, mommy! And then like comes out. She gets pissed or she gets scared, runs out, tries to escape, but then says, fuck it. And this is, oh God, I couldn't stop laughing. Like I saw this alone. So like I saw this alone with like four other people in the theater. When she starts chugging, she just chugs bleach. A giant container of bleach.
Yeah, yes. Fuck it. I want this baby out. I want out. I
started laughing so hard because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then the bleach dries up. Her scrubs are like just, white and blue.
That was a good touch.
Yeah. But it's just funny because does bleach dry up that fast? Regardless, she chugs bleach. It's in her eyes. It's on her body. Everything. She chugs it. She just wants to die. And
it's an industrial sized bottle, like massive bottle.
Yes. Yeah. Liz finds her. She's pissed off. She's fighting her. She also has bleach. This is the part I'm confused at. Liz is constantly wearing all black, and there was no bleach stains on her black suit. Even after she gets the demon Lucifer possesses Laura's body.
Takes over.
Yeah, takes
Fuck
over.
It, I've taken the wheel. I let you drink the bleach, fine, but now I'm putting a stop to this.
Because she's trying to kill him. And so, like, he makes her puke out what seems like 4 gallons of bleach onto this other woman, and nothing happens to either of them. It's like all over their face, and like nothing, no blindness, nothing happens.
I like that the screenwriter doesn't know how bleach works.
No, they do because her scrub turns white.
That's the only evidence.
Damn it. Yeah.
See? And they're like, I got the plan. Believe me, it's going to make it make sense.
And this is a woman actor talking like a devil. Like, do a devil voice impression in your own mind.
Yeah.
That's how this lady is talking. Because the body of Lucifer has taken over her body.
Yes.
When she feels like it.
Yes. And then Liz is like, get her and put her in the thing. Incubator, I guess. And the doctor that looks like he looks like Will Arnett if you really think about it.
Yeah, all right. I'm with it. Yeah.
But anyway, she's incubated, shaved head. Saint Michael finds the lost children in hell.
Yeah.
That like were like what was the word? They like
I think
they were sacrificed to Jesus to try to get Lucifer to try and go back into.
Yeah, I think these are the failed experiments to incarnate Lucifer on Earth, and they are just little rapscallions running around hell, literally hiding under rocks to avoid demons.
Yes.
This is just brought out of nowhere.
Yeah. Right. You thought they were dead, but they explained it like maybe 45 minutes before. Anyway, Saint Michael, who is now chained up, is like, hey, find my sword. Where is your sword? Are you really Saint Michael anyway? Yes. Just find my sword. If you take us home, we have a saying. If one of us goes home, we all go home.
And but to home, they mean Earth, like as in up the hole that is in the sky.
Yes.
That goes to Earth.
Yes.
That's what they're trying to get.
But they can't escape. So Saint Michael's like, if you find my sword, I'll take you home. And then Lucifer, God damn it, Saint Michael explains a sword to them And one of the kids just goes, we know what a sword looks like. And it's like, what the fuck are these jokes? Why is it here? It's so fucking funny. And then like demons come out and steal some of the kids.
These kids are constantly on the run.
And these kids, they live in like crevices in the hell.
I think the
They're like
demons
mole
can't
people.
reach them, like in the crevices, like when a
Okay.
rat goes in the rat hole or
Okay.
something, and it's like, I can't get you, dang it.
But they somehow found the sword, like just somewhere. They just found it. It's found. Is this it? It's just been right here this entire time.
Good line would have been like, I thought you fuckers knew what a sword was.
Yeah. Like, they never saw it, but it was just there. And so like he gets the sword, cuts the chain, goes back into Earth, kills. While that's happening, Liz is killing everybody. Liz is killing everybody, right?
Yeah, well, okay, so the demon, it's like working the pregnancy, and Lucifer wants out of the body, and essentially when Liz reveals this is working, correct me if I'm wrong, to the cult members, all the cult is like waiting for this, second coming of Lucifer, right? And the Lucifer tells Liz, like, hey, you got to kill all these people because no one can know what happens for reasons. And so
It's to make Brent really happy with the coolest scene in the movie.
it's pretty fucking badass. So this troll guy, this non-union troll guy who's been working there,
Yeah.
he gets to, well, Dylan, you tell him about the troll man and what happens
The
next.
troll man's just killing all the cult people and doctors and.
But that's after she has the baby.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which is just like whatever, it just happens, kind of. Am I wrong? I don't think there's much.
Her
event.
water breaks,
Oh
Yeah,
god,
so
that's a
she
big event.
fights the priest.
but possessedly, not like.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna help you out, and he's like trying to get her out, but she's already.
Wait, did he get out of hell?
Yeah, he's out of hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. You gotta.
He bursts out of hell with the sword.
He went
Crevice
back
kids
up.
hooked him up.
He grabbed the shroud, which he'd hid behind a rock, and then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then he goes up to the medical facility, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna help you out," but doesn't realize that she's like too far gone. And then he tells her, though, that's when he tells her it's a trap, like the baby, because she's like a devil. And
Right.
he's like, you're messing up. This baby's going to kill you. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to be born then. But then he gets born.
Yeah.
To go back to the shroud being behind a rock, I love that cult security and like had the efficiency of like an Imperial stormtrooper shooting a gun. You know what I mean? It's just
This
like
is
it's
equal-
right there.
Equal opportunity lack of security. It's a consistent.
No, bro,
one
they
key-
had four
one-
guys that were like combing the cave, and they
Yeah.
couldn't find it behind this really obvious rock. It was amazing.
I'm trying. Okay, so the baby thing happens, and that's right. Liz is like, "Stop lying to me, Laura. You're not gonna trick me." Because the devil's all like, I can't be born. Kill
Yeah.
this baby." And Liz doesn't believe him.
Because it was just a woman doing a devil voice.
Yeah. And so the baby's born. They kill the fucking troll demon monster. Kills everyone with this fucking
chain whip.
yeah, this chain whip with like the D logo as like the
Blade
knives.
on
Yeah,
it.
as the
Yeah.
blade.
I can't stress enough how awesome that scene is.
I know,
It's
because I was
so
like,
killer.
they're killing the members of the cult.
Yes.
Why
All
would
of
they be
them.
fucking? Why would they be opposed to any of like
Yeah.
the baby stuff? That's what they're there for.
It's like we can't let everyone know this is happening. Meanwhile, the grand scheme is to let all the demons out of hell. Like, I think they're gonna know.
Yeah, the flying demons in hell. Are
Yeah,
gonna
the
come
difference
out.
between like the 30 cult members and the whole world is not
So
that great.
Mind you, this is where I draw a question. If they were able to get the giant troll monster demon to get out of hell, how come the flying demons had like a problem getting out of there? They can obviously fly. They showed you flying out of the hole.
And then they have to like cover the hole to hell with like, a manhole kind of like,
Yeah.
like the Ninja Turtles are trying to get out and like the Foot Clan is stomping them down.
Yeah, it's weird. You'd think they would just leave it open. Don't know why they like had to put like this complicated opening closing door. Like if they're just Satanists that loves demons,
Let them out.
yeah, let them out of the house.
If you're cold, they're cold. Let them in.
Yeah. Laura escapes with the baby, drives out, drives away before a priest or Saint Michael sets the bombs off.
Yeah, because now,
go
instead of blowing it up after the demons leave, blow it up before the demons leave. Boom! Now they're stuck in there forever. They lose the dumbwaiter / literal hole that goes to hell.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work though, because like, how would that how would that hole be filled up? Like, how long is that hole? Like, what's the distance?
Well, okay. How long is the hole? How long is it from Earth to hell? So it'd be like that long, like one hell length.
Yeah, it seems
distance.
like 2 miles away. Would you say hell is like before you hit the core of the earth?
Hell is other people.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Regal.
Anyway, so it ends with the priest dies because St. Michael's like, all right, over this body anyways. Sets the bomb off. Everyone, the Satanists lose. The baby's born. Laura takes it to a church.
To
the priest, right?
Countryside.
Yeah.
Yeah, full on raises this baby who's like, let's just call it 4.
Yeah. About 4 or 5. We find out that the baby, Jesus, is like a POC or something.
Yeah, she's walking the earth.
Yeah, it's like, okay. And then like Liz is still around.
Somehow.
Well, she raises the god. Oh.
No, Liz
in the background.
Satanist, yeah.
Lurking.
She's like following the baby. Like,
Lucifer.
Come on, dude.
and
Very
then
German,
the
like
baby-
witch in the woods.
Yeah,
So
the
good.
the kid turns around and then like the little
Smoke.
Lucifer
snake.
smoke comes out and just tries what felt like his hand reached out, but then it just went back like a snot.
Like,
Yeah,
like
snot.
lift him back up.
Yeah.
Like a Lady and the Tramp slurping up spaghetti.
Yeah, and then like ends. Song starts playing.
No, and then hijinks ensue.
Then that's when the movie.
That's when the movie
starts.
kicks in.
That's like I just explained to you the first 30 minutes. I think it took me 30 minutes to try and explain this crazy plot.
Well, because you gave the whole.
You wanted a summary. I gave you a summary.
It was, there's nothing to add to that, I don't think, as far as a review. You heard the man. You know damn well if you want to watch it or not.
Except the baby, like what he was saying is like the baby's gonna possess you to Satan. That's what happens to Satan. You missed that part.
He gets
He
trapped.
gets
He gets
stuck
trapped
in the-
inside of Jesus.
Yeah, because Jesus is stronger.
Yeah.
Because good will always triumph over evil, or is stronger. He says good beats evil.
And there's some sort of like, boom, all God's plan, baby. He had it all. This is all his scheme for some reason. There's a crow flying around.
Yeah.
It gets
All
shot.
of this.
It gets shot that comes back.
And Michael does take the kids because he's like, well, if one of us gets out, we all
Right.
go home. And then he says he's going home. I think they just go to heaven.
Yeah, that's their home.
Yeah.
Because there's like, how long have they been in that fucking thing?
Yeah. Oh, so that was the thing I was thinking.
been one day.
That it could have
Or
been
9 months.
9 months because
There's a lot
time
of-
moves differently.
In Italy.
Kind of, but
It's true.
There's
But,
a lot of like passing out, like lost time.
no, but time moves differently in hell. Like,
Okay.
like a minute can be like
right.
years. So
It is hell, yeah.
Yeah, so he might not have been for his time chained up that long, but on Earth it was like 9 months or something.
Dang, timeline.
Because if she's like she's knocked out and
yeah.
pregnant, so like she's losing time.
I remember that MTV series. It's called Knocked Out and Pregnant.
So it could be a whole 9 months.
Yeah, it is.
A
I think
full
it's a full 9
gestation
months.
period. That's a good theory.
Okay, because what confuses me is it starts in the day, right? She's like drawing and shit.
There's a lot to be confused.
She draws
about.
all day. It's until night. That's when she gets kidnapped and the Jesus DNA gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
They go to the DNA spot or the auctioning spot, which I
DNA
assume is
spot.
nearby. Then they go straight to.
Wait, are you telling the story again?
No, hold on. I'm trying to make this timeline. Okay, no. Then they go to the compound. Then so it's another day because the priest gets to the other priest during the day,
Okay.
and so they make a plan.
Yeah.
And I guess it happens over the course of a day, I assume. So it's night again because that's when he gets to the compound. It's nighttime. He beats up those 2 security guards that shoot him.
Yeah, it's like a few days, and then it's 9 months.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Then 4 years.
Yeah, I guess. That's true.
the crazy twist.
Yeah.
How long does this movie take place in? 5 years.
Yeah, supposedly.
This is watched maybe like a day or two after we saw a plane, which takes place in about 5 hours.
Yeah, this is if you haven't picked up on it, this is a crazy fucking movie, like genuinely bonkers. I think it's safe to say we all had a really good time watching it. Like, this plot sounds insane and might be technically on some level convoluted or whatever the fuck. I'm sure it doesn't fit some like perfect Fibonacci number of script writing or whatever, but so much crazy shit is happening constantly that it's just, you're not going to have a problem with this movie. It is so wild.
Did you guys feel like it was an amalgamation of other movies you liked?
I mean, this is definitely a post Da Vinci Code horror movie, kind of. I don't know.
Obviously, like some Rosemary's Baby.
Sure.
Yeah.
I felt like. Did you ever see that 1981 German flick Possession? I feel like you did.
Oh, it sounds really familiar.
Yeah, you definitely did.
It's like it's like an artsy one, right?
Yeah, when she's
Okay.
when whatever the pregnant lady, whatever her name is Laura. Yeah, whenever she's got the bald head and she's like coming under Satan's spell and going crazy,
Right.
drinking bleach. Very Possession. I saw like some Evil Dead elements, obviously, like even the shotgun, stuff like that.
Doom,
Yes. Yeah.
Punisher,
video game and
Warzone,
movie.
Resident Evil,
Ghostface,
Star
or
Wars,
Ghostface.
Alien.
Ghost Rider, The Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote in my letterbox. I said this is a mix of Da Vinci
Okay.
Code, Evil Dead 1 and 2, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, National Treasure. And what was the other one?
I don't know. Like it's weird. I feel like even the people that wrote bad reviews of this movie seemed like they had a good time.
Right. Yeah, you're lying if you said you were bored during this.
Yeah, you can't be.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy shit after crazy shit. There is like, sure, it goes down for a second, but then it just comes back with crazy shit.
And I love how like straight it is, because there is like a level of what was that, like Delamore or whatever, where it's like also an Evil Dead knockoff, or
Yes.
like shoot, who is it? The like Dead Alive, like that kind of over the top
Sam Raimi.
shit, where it's like, we know shit is crazy and like we're doing crazy shit and it's super over the top, isn't it? This movie doesn't have that tone to it. It's like played really straight. Like they're doing a regular like spy thriller or something. But there's trolls whipping people's heads off with chain whips with sharp objects at the end of it. And like the tone of it is like completely like they don't know they're doing something bonkers, and it's beautiful. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And it's complete with that recurring motif of just that shitty, crunchy metal guitar
Of
throughout
course.
the entire thing.
Yeah.
So good.
And he's like walking around with a shotgun.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome, bro. I was
Perfect.
I was texting Colin this like during my screening. I didn't know what I was walking into.
Yeah.
That'd be like some like just boring shit.
Yeah, my fear was that it's going to be like one of those low key like Christian movies that plays like Running the Bases or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
With sci-fi devils.
Right. And the director is Nathan Frankowski.
Okay.
I wanted to have a joke like the director is a PlayStation 2, but no, I won't do the man dirty like that. It's weird. I didn't recognize any movie he did except for. Do you guys remember that weird Ben Stein documentary?
Yeah.
From like 2008.
Yeah.
Same fucking director.
no fucking. He must have taken. All right, how much of Ben Stein's money did he take to make this movie? How much do you think this movie cost to make?
Oh, I would guess. I'm trying to think. I mean, if this had like a Warner Brothers logo or something, like a big movie company on it in the front, I would feel pretty comfortable saying 20 million.
Okay.
I would be surprised if it was less than 20 million, just based on how much like CG there is. There's monsters. It doesn't look cheap. I don't think it looks as. Actually, it was funny. A friend of mine was like, "Dude, did you see that movie?" He didn't see it. He's just like, It looks like. Tell me if it's better or worse than like the Justice League or like Batman versus Superman and like that kind of like Warner Brothers house CG. I was like, honestly, it's about on par, And those movies cost like hundreds of millions of dollars. So I know this didn't cost that.
It cost $5 million.
That's crazy.
Which
It
is
looks
nuts.
good.
It looks really
really good for that.
Yeah.
All that. I'm going to use this as like my example of what a $5 million movie can be. Because when I see some bullshit.
So now, all right, now that you know how much it costs, hit me with what you think it made this weekend.
I don't know. I have it. So this is a Czech production. So like I got to imagine it's bigger elsewhere than here. Like, are we doing domestic?
Let's
like
do
US?
gross worldwide because it's the same as domestic.
Oy vey. Is it $1 million?
No.
What is it?
$563,000.
That's rude.
No,
That's rude.
Worldwide.
That's all it's made to this point, which
I don't know
really
that this has a very wide release, though.
I guess that's why there's no budget or whatever. Why it's so cheap to make is because they didn't put anything in
The
it.
posters, I mean, I like the poster,
Right.
but it's not very good.
Right.
Like, it doesn't really tell you what's happening or anything. It doesn't say anything on the poster. It's
it
just
says
like,
the evil
You know,
conspiracy.
Yeah.
you know what's funny? I was looking at it, like studying it earlier. I was like, okay, it shows Archangel Michael and like I assume Lucifer's the side of his face, but they are giant.
and
Yeah.
they're like angel form.
Right.
Yes, yeah, they're not like. Then underneath it is the priestess Archangel takes and Liz, no Laura. So it's just them, but like they're tiny and they're walking towards you in like.
Yeah, you would think like Archangel Michael in his traditional form would be a major part of this role. No, that was a day worth of filming of him. And
Yeah.
they're like,
It
all
was-
right, thank you, guy that has a bigger IMDb than the rest of the cast.
It was maybe like 45 seconds to a minute and a half worth of like footage of them as their characters.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
I love it. I
That-
fucking love this movie, man.
Me too.
I legit like if there's a movie out of all these movies we've seen so far, this might be my favorite. And it's just out of sheer
Bonkers.
yeah.
It's like, and that's the unfortunate thing about it is it's just going to kind of die with a whimper in theaters, and people aren't going to have that awesome experience of sitting in a theater with strangers and going, "Are you seeing this? This is insane."
Yeah, and I feel like if it gets to streaming, and people
Different
who
effect.
watch it, maybe it will be people being like, dude, you got to see this. It's fucking bonkers. And if I'm
Hopefully.
going into this expecting something bonkers, I don't think all the bonkers shit that happens is going to be as effective of
That's what
me.
I'm saying, yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't think that people are going to get to see this the way it was meant to be seen.
Yeah.
It feels like a Netflix international movie. I could very easily see them picking this up and streaming it. And I don't know, whoever else like me watches all these different movies will really enjoy it. I don't think you miss out anything watching it at home.
Yeah, so I mean, just as a formality here, shall we ascend to heaven or sink to hell? The evil
Which
conspiracy.
one's the good one?
Which one's a good one?
That's heaven, of course.
So you're going to go to heaven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute fuck yes.
What's the conspiracy? Which part was
Yeah, what's the fucking conspiracy? I was wondering that.
that they can clone with DNA?
Yeah, the cult doing stuff. There's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Multiple parties are involved
it's-
to bring the devil to earth. Justine, heaven or hell?
Who is in hell? Moloch?
Moloch, yeah. Shout out to Moloch. Makes a great
Kind
cameo.
of want to hang out with all my homies,
Right.
but I'll just bring them to Earth. Can I just bring everyone to
There we
Earth?
go.
We lose.
Yeah,
That's wild.
bring everyone to Earth.
The answer is
have
no.
a good time. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the one hole to hell has been blown up, so unfortunately, it's covered to throw.
Well, I'll just turn into smoke form, and then I'll come up.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Apparently. I liked it a lot though, but I'm still gonna bring up the homies.
I like this so much that I'm willing to be beheaded by the apostate, and I can't stress enough how cool this is. If you hear this while it's still in the movie theater, please go see this. This is a movie theater movie.
Listen, I talked a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
Just explaining the plot. And I don't know if you can hear the excitement in my voice as I was trying to explain the movie. I don't know what to tell you, man. You weren't paying attention.
True, like 15 episodes, Silent Bob. This movie comes out, he takes over.
He did text me while he was watching this, and he's like, I hate to say it, but this is a very Dylan movie.
I hate to say this phrase. It's a Dylan movie. It's me likey. That's all I got to say.
All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to him.
Up next, we have a little treat. It was a limited engagement from Japan called Shin Ultraman. It only played 1 day dubbed and 1 day subbed. Same model as Shin Godzilla, which came out a few years back. Made by the same studio, of course, Toho, over in Japan. I had written down the plot, and I was afraid it was going to be a little long, but given that we just went through the entirety of the evil conspiracy, I don't feel bad in recounting it. So basically, kaiju emerged from the earth in response to humanity's abuse of nature, and during a joint nation battle with Gabora, one of the kaiju, a giant extraterrestrial, later dubbed Ultraman, crashes to earth and joins the battle.
He fighting the kaiju?
Yeah, he just appears out of nowhere. He fights the kaiju, defeats it rather handedly, and as he's crashing to Earth, like there's this giant explosion, and it kills one of the employees of this group that is tracking all of the kaiju. They're called the S-Class Species Suppression Protocol Team. So one of the guys dies. Ultraman is aware of this and feels so bad that he transfers himself. It's almost like the evil conspiracy. He transfers his essence into this dead human being. It's really odd. It gets convoluted right away. Shinji is the name of this employee that dies and then gets inhabited by Ultraman. So then he goes back to work where, as Ultraman, he has to figure out what Ultraman is with his team. So he has to kayfabe it and just be like, yeah, I don't know. We should figure this out. Then, out of nowhere, this badass, mysterious alien called Alien Zarab, and that is the full name, Alien Zarab, reveals himself and immediately gains an alliance with Japanese authorities. It's kind of like a con artist thing. They're unaware of his nefarious intent. So Alien Zarab then kidnaps Shinji, who's also Ultraman. Are you following?
Yes.
And impersonates him. Just takes it to another level because you're like, wait, is that the real Ultraman or is that Alien Zarab as Ultraman? Who knows? But then you actually do figure it out rather quickly because there's a lot of death and destruction. You're like, oh, that's got to be Alien Zarab because Ultraman's here to save lives. So then one of Shinji's co-workers must then rescue Shinji, aka Ultraman, in order to do battle with Zarab, and she becomes Ultraman. So Ultraman's just kind of getting passed around into different human vessels. There's a conclusion at this point in the movie. You're like, wow, that's a really efficient story that they're going to roll the credits. No, they don't. A second movie kind of just starts from there, where humanity and another baddie called Melphalos.
Do they hard pan it like that, like part two?
No.
Okay,
it's just a natural. It's a natural
right,
thing.
right.
You're like, wow, Alien Zarab is defeated. Awesome. This is really efficient. Roll credits. It was long enough where I was like, roll credits. But then they fired it up where like this other baddie comes in, and then there's like this bargaining thing for it's like. In order for Ultraman inside Shinji's corpse to turn into Ultraman, there's like a little thing. It's called what is it called? It's like some sort of device that allows you to shift DNA. It's called like B class or something like that. Mephilos wants to bargain with humanity to give them that technology. It's kind of like an Ancient Aliens thing. We're going to come down and share our technology.
I don't know why you'd need DNA swapping technology.
I don't know. Like I said, it's very convoluted. So yeah, these negotiations are going on. Ultraman's not having it, decides to go after Mephilos. It looks like they're about to battle, but then Mephilos sees this other character named Zophie over the shoulder of Ultraman and realizes that Zophie is in charge of Ultraman and all powerful, and that Mephilos will not win this battle. So instead of having a fight, Mephilos says, I see your point, I'm going to leave. So you think you're going to get this crazy kaiju battle, and you don't. Just walks away. But Zophie, who is Ultraman's boss from the Beyond, which you would like, Justine, because it's like a psychedelic realm that they're from. Sophie's pissed off that the DNA was merged with humans. She's like, that is against everything we stand for. I'm not having it. I got to find a way to punish you. Don't want to punish you, but I have to. If I just let everybody merge with humans, we're going to have all these weird Ultramans everywhere, right? So they kind of go off, and the consequences are faced. I'm not going to give a spoiler for that, just in case somebody does actually want to go see this movie. Let's just say it gets really trippy. This is I was wondering, like, going into it, I was like, is this going to have the same effect and impact as Shin Godzilla, became a bit of a cultural phenomenon? Like I said, it was originally slated for like a 2-day run, but then because of the response, they actually ended up opening wide in multiple cities, and it ran for at least a few weeks. People love that movie. The answer is no. This is not as strong. It's way more convoluted. Like I said, you get shortchanged on the kaiju battles. In one instance, it doesn't even happen. Like, what you think is going to be the climax of the movie, the baddie just goes, I'm not going to win this fight. I'm going to take off. Don't worry about the DNA thing. I'm not going to push that on humanity. We're good. Also, the audio of this movie is quite literally scraps from Shin Godzilla. A lot of the unused sound effects and even the music that they cut from Shin Godzilla, they recycled. So I looked into it. I was like, is this a COVID movie? No and yes. It was filmed in 2019 before the pandemic, but then edited during the pandemic, and they put all this extra crap in there. It's a mix of CGI and practical effects. And apparently the guy that put the film together did it all on Adobe Premiere Pro over the pandemic, so just at home on a consumer grade computer. And it looks that way, but kind of cool. It was also the director is also the director of Shin Godzilla, Shinji Higuchi. He brought back Takumi Saito as Shinji Kaminaga, the male lead that turns into Ultraman. You got Masami Nagasawa as Hiroko Asami, who is his co-worker, and not a love interest. That's one thing I do like about Toho. When they're in a crisis situation, they do not have love interest. They don't.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla was pretty straight like that too, right?
And that like this one meanders a bit more,
right?
But it still adheres to, like, hey, we do have a crisis, we need to be solving.
Yeah.
They stay on task. Kenjiro Tsuda is the voice of Alien Zarab, and you got Koji Yamamoto as Alien Mephilas. So,
Did you watch it dubbed or subbed?
I watched it subbed the first night. I considered going to see it dubbed just so I could, like, look at more of the the visuals, but then I went no, there wasn't even any fights really, so not worth it. Overall, like I said, it's only natural to compare it to Shin Godzilla, and it unfortunately doesn't compare at all. If you watch it somehow in a vacuum without comparison, it might be entertaining. The visuals are cool. I mean, if you're a fan of kaiju, some elements are there, but I don't think it really commits to the violence that you expect. So, Shin Ultraman, I would say I'm kind of middle of the road, but I'm glad I went, because I'm a fan of the Toho stuff.
Here's my question. You said Ultraman? No. The kaiju come up because they're mad that people are mistreating the Earth.
Mm-hmm. There's always been kind of that.
Why does Ultraman fight them? Is he the good guy?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like a call-in choice where you're like, wait, what's the good one? What's the bad one?
Because Godzilla is just like, hey, this is what you get when you mess with nukes and stuff. I'm going to get you, and then like you kind of rooting for your people, I guess, and that's what Shin did a good job at. It like gave you the human side to root for, I think, in a very grounded way. So that they were like, you kind of like, even if you were down for Mother Earth, you're still like, I don't know, these guys are working hard.
Yeah, I'd say this is like, in a way, and minus, like, and I stopped short of going all the way with this statement because there isn't very much fighting going on in this movie. But this is kind of a throwback to the mass production era where they're just like, let's just make another one real quick. Throw on the rubber suit, let's go. You know what I mean? So it's like there's an element of that where it's just like it feels kind of thrown together.
But it's weird because it's been like 5+ years apart, so it's not that you're not giving us the quantity to make up for the lack of quality.
Yeah, it fell quite a bit short, but I didn't hate it, obviously.
Right.
But, yeah, kind of in the middle. Okay, this first movie is 1997. You have up to 8 actors to work with. The description is as follows. In coastal North Carolina, 4 friends accidentally run down a pedestrian on a lonely road. They dump the body into the sea and vow to never mention it again. But a year later, they each begin receiving the title message in the mail. and then the murders begin. Scripter Kevin Williamson's attempt at a Scream follow-up is too routine to succeed overall.
I got title. I don't know a
Yeah.
soul in this one.
You don't know any of the
Same.
actors?
I got one
soul.
actor
You
actually.
got one? Do you have any actors?
No.
All right, Dylan, go and give me the title and one actor.
Is it? I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, yes, it is.
Is it Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yes.
There we go.
You've also got Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to.
I was
remember any of
guessing
those.
those two, and I think this is a different movie.
Yeah, that's that whole era is so
Yeah.
mixed up.
Ryan Felipe, Freddie Prinze Jr. So yeah.
Dang,
Oh,
everybody was in that
and
movie.
Anne Heche was in it as well somehow.
Jeez. Yeah, there's a reason that was a huge movie.
Yeah.
All right, your next movie.
Because it was good.
I never saw it.
Me neither. I don't think. Long time ago.
Your next movie is 1994. You have up to 9 actors to work with. The description is as follows. In contemporary San Francisco, a young man grants an interview about his 200-year existence as a vampire, a life with which he has never felt completely comfortable. Likely to satisfy fans of Anne Rice's popular novel and female fans of its star Hunks, but this descent into the netherworld is unappealing, unrelenting, and after a while downright boring. The actors can't be faulted, nor can the handsome production design, followed by Queen of the Damned.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to shut down Maltin on that one. It is the esteemed speaker's opinion. The last 2 good horror movies ever made. This Interview with the Vampire and Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Well, I guess we know the title.
Oh well, we all knew that the
You know
title.
what, though? There is more to the title. Does anybody have more to the title that they can add?
I just wanted how many.
I'm trying to count right
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It all comes down to cast.
Yeah, you guys got the cast.
I mean, I'm not going to be a stickler on the title, but there it goes: Interview with a Vampire, and then something else. Anybody? Does
now.
anybody?
Vampire Chronicle?
Oh, god damn. Okay. All right. So we got some, like, I'm going to toss you half a point for that, and you get the full point.
I just want to know how many cast
You got
members.
9 that you can work with.
I want to know how many you get.
Okay, let me count.
Can you name any, Colin?
Oh, I can name like 3, but you gotta know when to let Jesus take the wheel.
The real movie master.
I think, like, realistically, 1, 2,
I thought you were going to say we should just change the question.
4. I think realistically 5 is is strong on this one.
I got 6.
God damn!
Once you pass 3,
Can I guess one?
Sure.
Kirsten Dunst, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got.
That's the one you're going with.
She was interviewed, right?
She was interviewed.
she was interviewing.
Okay, so, Dylan, do you?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I got 8.
I can't name all 9. You go ahead.
Okay, so there's Kirsten Dunst,
1,
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt,
3,
Antonio Banderas,
4,
Stephen Ray,
5,
Christian Slater,
6.
and Tandy Newton.
Yes.
That's all I got.
That is a
Stephen Wright.
record.
That's when you know. That's when you know a goddamn movie.
Yeah, that is 7 actors named for.
Yeah.
Although Dylan, I think, hit 7 before, maybe for like from Dusk Till Dawn or something.
Oh
like
yeah, Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah, we had a long slug out. Yeah, I think you took it with. I still don't know the guy's name. Jeez.
George Clooney.
The
Quentin Tarantino. Selma Hayek.
Cheetah. Oh yeah, he didn't get Selma
Yeah,
Hayek.
so
that's
that's
what
the
it was.
one
yeah.
you were because you thought it was be Penelope Cruz or
yeah.
something.
Hey, listen.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I told you that.
Oh, that's right. You thought it
The
was
big
Captain
old
Juice.
jumbled up time.
We're gonna stay in 1994. This one you have up to 15 actors to work with. The description is as follows. Supposed satire of America's infatuation with outlaws and social miscreants, focusing on a hedonistic couple who murder more than 50 people on their honeymoon. Whatever points the director wants to make are delivered early on with a bludgeon. The rest is all sound and fury. 60s-inspired hyperkinetic filmmaking style soon becomes boring and repetitious.
Ernest Goes to Hell.
Ernest Goes to
You know what's fucked is I can't think of the title of it, and it's insane. I know the 2 people.
I know.
How do you not know the
I
title?
think I know the name and I know the 2 people. I can name 3 people
Yeah.
actually.
Okay,
Wow.
you got title in 3?
Yes.
I can't. This
Add
is because
title in
it's
2.
too late. My brain is officially shot if I can't
Okay.
name the name of this movie.
I only have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all you.
All right, Dylan, hit it.
National Board Killers.
Jesus Christ!
Correct.
I told you this is a shot brain. You know, it took me 5 hours today to remember Michael Keaton's name, and then the day before that, you know what? I was trying to remember the name of I was like, it was an 80s band. And I was like,
Malice.
tick tock in my brain. It's like, they're kind of like this band. I got it by guessing not the band Gene Loves Jezebel, but I was like, it was something like Gene Loves Jezebel. Flesh for Lulu. Jesus Christ, that's all. That is a deep cut, recessed in my brain. So the fact that I can't get National Board Killers is a bad one. Name the 3 actors, Dylan.
Is natural? Did I say national? Oh, fuck. Natural. You know what's fucked up? I put natural treasure on my letterbox, and then I looked at it, I was like, oh, fuck, and I had to edit it. Anyway.
You don't go Natty Trez?
Natrez.
We got Woody Harrelson.
Correct.
This is the part. It's Juliette Lewis, right?
Correct.
And Robert Downey Jr.
Correct.
Okay, that's like.
Yep. You also got Tommy Lee Jones, Tom Sizemore, Rodney Dangerfield as the father, Edie McClurg as the wife, if you remember that. That's roughly it. Yeah, I mean, I think, like you could pull 3 solid.
Naming everyone else, I would be like, I don't know.
I remember really hating that movie.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Well, you're with Maltin then.
Okay, me and Malty.
All right, this next
He's
movie.
wrong. He's crazy for Interview, but, you know.
Yeah, that was a
Bro, the
wild
practical
review.
effects on Interview are so fucking gnarly. Anyways, next question.
I'm getting a sense that he just doesn't like horror as I make it through this.
He's
all
also scared.
He's a sci-fi guy. He's a
Scared.
fucking nerd.
He's hiding underneath his hoodie.
Maltin ass. This next movie is from 1996. You have up to 10 actors to choose from. Murderer, obsessed with horror movies, begins slaughtering teens in a small city just a year after the main character's mother was murdered. And the killer seems to be targeting people she knows. Well-drawn characters, suspenseful situations, several plot twists, and entertaining movie references highlight this snappy horror thriller, one of the director's best. Henry Winkler appears unbilled, followed by 3 sequels, shot in Panavision.
He wasn't billed in that one?
Apparently not. Which is bizarre.
I can name 1 actor. No,
Yeah.
2. I can name 2. That's about
What's
it.
crazy is like when you hear all these names, you're going to go, that's right.
Well, it's more like I just can't remember their names.
Yeah, okay.
I can name 2 of them on top.
Oh, so you're visualizing them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know their faces. I don't remember their names.
You know this one, Justine?
I think so.
I think you do too. Yeah.
And I think I know 4.
4? Shit, let me keep going. Oh, this is going to drive me crazy. Jesus, I'm going to get some of these names wrong. All right.
All right, Colin.
I got 5.
You got 5? Let's do it.
As soon as I botch a name, Justine can steal.
Got it.
It's Scream,
Yes.
Drew Barrymore,
Correct.
Skeet Ulrich,
Correct.
Courtney Cox.
Correct.
Dylan, you're going to hate me.
Yes.
Jamie Kennedy.
Correct.
Okay, still in it. And here's where I fuck up.
One more.
David Arquette.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
okay.
You didn't even get like the one that
I was like, Will Arquette? Fucking.
Justine, tell him the big one.
Nev Campbell,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
I
Matthew
only,
Lillard.
I only remembered
Yeah.
Courtney Cox's and David Arquette's name. I couldn't remember anyone else, and I forgot Drew Barrymore's in the beginning.
I can't do my Nev Campbell impression over the podcast because it's just a lot of squinting.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
I've also never seen that.
not giving me the money I need to come back for the next
You never seen Scream? It's like a delightful film.
It's
quaint.
I feel like I've seen the whole thing.
I know.
So I never saw.
As my feelings are, it's like my Natural Born Killers one in reverse, where I don't think I've seen either film in like 20 plus years. I didn't see either film since like the Clintons were in office.
The Clintons.
I know. I don't know why I put a plural on that.
With a
Hey.
Z. Other names you could have given me were Rose McGowan and Linda Blair.
Oh, what's Linda do?
She's
Anyways, go next movie.
1991. You have up to 12 actors you can work with here. FBI trainee, main actor, is recruited to attempt to get through to a brilliant psychotic criminal in the hope that he may help catch a serial killer. Almost unbearably intense, brilliantly acted, and cannily put together, though the subject material is at times repellent, based on the Thomas Harris bestseller. The character appeared in a previous Harris adaptation, Manhunter, Oscar winner for Best Picture, Actor, Actress, Director, and Adapted Screenplay. You have up to 12 you can work with.
I can't. I'm trying to remember
Really?
the guy's name.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of anybody else in this movie.
But the guy.
but the main people.
Yeah. No, this is
Like I can't even I can one other character, and
So are
then
you
the
in it
rest of the
too?
movie, I have no idea.
Justine, are you in it too?
Yeah, I have two.
This is fucked up. I think I got like title again. My brain is shot right now.
Yeah, I got I cannot remember the people's name.
Justine has the name. You have two, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
two. Go ahead.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah. So Silence of the Lambs.
Correct.
It's Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony
Perfect.
Hopkins.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, "What's Buffalo Bill's name?" I was like just thinking about him.
Yeah, it's is it Scott Glenn? Ted Levine, Anthony Held, Brooke Smith, Diane Baker, Cassie Lemons,
I don't know any of these.
Charles Napier, Tracy Walter, Roger Corman is in it. Here's where you could have got it. Chris Isaac.
What?
You don't remember Chris Isaac in that movie?
I don't remember anyone
Is that Buffalo
except those
Bill?
three characters.
No, he's a cop in that movie.
See, I only remember I had Jodie Foster, but I couldn't remember
No, Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't even get it."
Michael Rappaport. This is. I'm telling you, this is before 1995, and 1995, Forrest Gump wins the movie of the year, and all their picks after that are bullshit.
All hell
They made the
breaks
right
loose.
choice on that one.
All right, this one's a little bit more challenging. This is a 1998 movie. You have up to 12 actors to work with. A lot of them are pretty famous, but you don't necessarily associate them with this movie if you can even get the title. I just want to go ahead and throw down the gauntlet like that. All right, the description is as follows. College friends are stalked by an unknown murderer who kills them one by one in the style of famous urban legends. Clever premise is undercut by standard presentation and a truly rotten ending. Just another Scream clone, but a bit more entertaining than most, followed by 2 sequels.
I got the title.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I don't know. Title. I don't.
Okay.
I don't even think it's funny. The college part is what's throwing me off.
Who's in this movie?
I know. I never saw this movie either.
All right, I'm gonna Hail Mary this bitch. You ready?
Oh, okay.
Urban Legends. Freddie Prinze Jr.
No.
Oh, you're safer guessing Freddie Prinze than you are.
In that era, you are super safe.
Yeah. I was just like, again, Hail Mary.
Dylan, do you have any?
No.
So one of the actors in this movie was in one of Dylan's favorite movies of 2022 that he mentioned on the podcast.
Mrs. Harris.
But it wasn't Mrs. Harris, and none of us would have, in our right minds, picked that movie.
Oh shit, Jared Leto.
Yes, correct. You got Jared Leto. Your other notables would be Rebecca Gayheart. Robert Englund is in it.
Oh
oddly enough.
yeah.
Yep. Brad Dourif and Tara Reid.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
cursed.
It's a cursed movie. We're gonna do one more. It's 1991. You have up to 10 actors. The description is as follows. Released from prison after 14 years, a self-educated wacko vows to make a living hell for the lawyer who sent him up. Remake of the 1962 thriller fleshes out its characters and adds fascinating psychological layers, but turns a gripping, realistic story into an overblown, unbelievable horror film for the Freddy Krueger generation. The director's brilliant command of the medium is squandered on severely unpleasant material with an A-list of collaborators, including cinematographer Freddie Francis and composer Elmer Bernstein, adapting Bernard Herrmann's original score. Major asset, exceptionally good performances, shot in Panavision.
I got the title, 2, and the director.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I don't know this movie.
Yeah, because you watched it recently, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I
do-
rewatched it recently.
Yeah. Of course. Do your thing.
It's Cape Fear.
It is.
Bobby De Niro and Juliette Lewis
Yep,
and Martin Scorsese.
correct.
Damn it! I thought it was. I was wavering on Juliette Lewis. Like, we're gonna hit 2 Juliette Lewis movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the theme. The theme
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
90s,
yeah.
Juliette Lewis,
90s
man.
creeper.
Well,
Well,
horror
you know what's
movie.
really fucked up? There's a Ben Stiller show sketch called Cape Munster.
Yes,
Where Eddie
yeah.
Munster is the escape guy, and Janine Garofalo is doing a Juliette Lewis impression, and it's, so that's who I'm picturing.
I love that. That's so good. Your other options were Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange, Joe Don Baker's in this one, Robert Mitchum, Gregory Peck. Those would be your notable ones for that.
Why is Ben Stiller doing an impression of Robert De Niro as Eddie Munster?
And that's what threw you. I love it. Congratulations to Dylan.
Thank you.
True
I
movie
deserve
master.
that.
And
Fuck, where's my fucking...
your prize is you get to tell us what we're watching next.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Regal Movie Masters Unlimited. I hope you liked this batshit crazy episode. And guess what? I talked. And what did I talk about? I just explained a plot to so far my favorite movie of the year. I might not be able to shut the fuck up about it for a while. Join us next time for Missing. And let's just hope that they find what they're looking for, you know? We might talk about other movies too. We literally do not know. All right, everybody. See you at the movies. Bye.